Petition to eliminate conditions on residence. While most green cards offer a decade-long validity with indefinite renewals, a conditional green card, granted to those married for less than 2 years during permanent residency acquisition through marriage, has a mere 2-year validity. To transition to a renewable 10-year permanent green card, individuals must timely submit Form I-751, officially titled the Petition to Remove Conditions on Residence. Understanding Form I-751. Form I-751 is the key document for converting a 2-year conditional green card into a full 10-year green card. Termed the removal of conditions process, this is crucial as conditional green cards automatically expire after 2 years. Issued to individuals married for less than 2 years when gaining permanent residence through marriage to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, conditional green cards are designated as CR1. The data furnished on Form I-751 serves as a basis for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, to ascertain the authenticity of the applicant's marriage, ensuring it wasn't solely for obtaining a green card. How to complete Form I-751, a step-by-step guide. Form I-751 is to be printed, with options to type responses and print the completed form or manually complete the blank form using black ink. Upon completion, the form must be mailed to the appropriate U.S. government address based on the state of residence. The information required is straightforward, divided into distinct sections. Part 1. Personal details of the conditional resident. Within this segment, comprehensive information about the conditional resident is solicited, encompassing fundamental personal details such as name, marital status, and other pertinent particulars. Respond diligently to all inquiries, utilizing not applicable for inapplicable questions unless otherwise specified. For instance, Item 7 requests the alien registration number, an identification code obtainable from your green card, specifically under USCIS hashtag. Item 9, relating to the USCIS online account number, is relevant only if you've previously established an online account for immigration-related purposes. If this does not apply, leave it blank. Item 12, pertaining to the place of marriage, necessitates the inclusion of the city or state where the marriage transpired. Part 2, biographic information. This section mandates the provision of biographical details, including a selection that most aptly characterizes one's race and ethnicity. The USCIS categories guide this selection. Hispanic or Latino. White. Asian. Black or African American. American Indian or Alaska Native. Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. Additionally, details like height and weight, conveyed in feet and inches and pounds respectively, are sought. Part 3, Grounds for Petition. This segment delves into the rationale behind initiating the petition, prompting a selection between 1 or 1.b for joint filing with a spouse or parent, and alternative options if filing independently, accompanied by an elucidation of why the spouse is not filing jointly. Part 4, Details of the U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse. Basic information about the sponsoring spouse, instrumental in the immigrant's attainment of conditional permanent resident status, is elicited in this section. Part 5, Information regarding children. This part can be omitted if no children are involved. If applicable, an affirmative response to Item 5 will obviate the need for a separate I-751 filing for the child. Part 6, Accessibility Considerations for Disabilities and Impairments. In this part, the applicant can apprise USCIS of any disabilities or impairments, facilitating a request for accommodation during interviews or appointments. Potential accommodations include sign language interpreters for the hearing impaired, oral tests for the visually impaired, or home or hospital visits for those unable to travel. Part 7, Petitioner Statement, Contact Information, Acknowledgement, and Signature. This section necessitates the provision of contact details for follow-up purposes, an indication of interpreter assistance, and affirmation of comprehension of the acknowledgement of appointment at USCIS Application Support Center. Importantly, the petitioner must sign and date the petition, with a clear rejection of stamped or typewritten names in lieu of authentic signatures. Who assumes the role of petitioner in Form I-751? Within the realm of Form I-751, the individual holding the conditional green card takes on the role of the petitioner. Part 8, details of individual or spouse, and Part 4, if applicable. This section mirrors its predecessor but demands the immigrant spouse, parent, or guardian listed in Part 4 of the petition to furnish their personal information and affix their signature. Part 9, interpreter's details, certification, and signature. In the event of utilizing an interpreter for form preparation, this section mandates the interpreter to complete their contact information and certify their familiarity with the acknowledgement of appointment at USCIS Application Support Center from Part 7. The interpreter must then sign and date the petition. Part 10, data of person drafting the petition, if not the petitioner. This section seeks information and the signature of the individual who assisted in drafting the petition, provided it wasn't the petitioner. Should this helper be an attorney or accredited representative, submission of a completed Form G-28 alongside the petition is obligatory. Part 11, supplementary information. Offering room for any extra details, Part 11 serves as a space to provide additional information. If more space is needed, duplicates of this section can be appended to the petition. Note, USCIS encourages the retention of a copy of the completed petition for future reference. Remember to sign your form. Any unsigned forms will be rejected by USCIS. Form I-751 document checklist, how to assemble I-751 package. Submission of Form I-751 requires inclusion of specific supporting documents. A copy of the current green card, front and back. Copies of children's green cards, front and back, if included in Form I-751. Evidence substantiating a bona fide marriage, encompassing documents like joint leases, mortgages, bank statements, tax filings, credit card statements, utility bills, children's birth certificates, family photographs, and sworn affidavits. Court order validating name change post-marriage, if applicable. Documentation of any arrests, charges, or convictions. For those not filing jointly, evidence supporting the request, including the spouse's death certificate, finalized divorce decree, or official documentation proving domestic abuse. Ample proof of the bona fide nature of the marriage is also required. If filing from overseas due to military or government service, enclose 2 passport-style photographs, completed Form FD-258 fingerprint cards, and a copy of current military or government orders. Clearly note active military or government orders on top of Form I-751. How long does Form I-751 take to get approved? The processing duration for Form I-751 is variable, contingent on the volume of applications and the specific USCIS office overseeing the case. Accuracy in the provided information is pivotal, as incomplete applications can prolong processing times. Detailed processing timelines can be accessed here for comprehensive insights. Navigating Form I-751 with changed marital status. If your marriage has concluded, you can still pursue the removal of conditions on your green card. However, a comprehensive explanation and evidence demonstrating the genuine nature of your past marriage are necessary. Determining the need for Form I-751 filing. All individuals holding a conditional green card must initiate Form I-751 shortly before their green card's 2-year anniversary. Conditional resident status is likely if, during the green card approval, the applicant was married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder for less than 2 years. Helpful tip. Check the front of your green card to identify conditional residence. If the category section displays CR1, it signifies a conditional green card. Additionally, reviewing the expiration date on your green card will reveal whether it is a 2-year or 10-year green card. Joint filing and waiver considerations. Typically, both the conditional resident spouse and the sponsoring spouse jointly file Form I-751. In exceptional cases such as divorce, death, or abuse by the sponsoring spouse, individual filing is permissible, or the joint filing requirement can be waived. When to submit Form I-751, navigating the timing and circumstances. Initiating the filing of Form I-751 in a timely manner is paramount to sidestep potential complications, such as the immediate loss of permanent resident status. The appropriate timing, however, hinges on whether you are filing jointly with your sponsoring spouse or opting for an individual filing. Filing jointly with sponsoring spouse. Submit Form I-751 within the 90-day period preceding the expiration date of your conditional green card. For example, if your green card expires on April 1st, 2021, the filing window opens on January 1st, 2021, 90 days before. The submission must occur no later than April 1st, 2021, to preserve your green card status. Filing individually. Individual filing is permissible at any time after acquiring conditional residence. This scenario arises if your marriage concludes due to divorce, annulment, the death of your sponsoring spouse, or if you or your children experienced abuse. Expired conditional green card. In certain instances, the U.S. government may consider exceptions, allowing the submission of Form I-751 even post the conditional green card's expiration. Applicants must furnish a letter elucidating the reasons for the delay, with approval contingent on extraordinary circumstances beyond the applicant's control and a deemed reasonable delay. There is no assurance of acceptance for belatedly filed I-751 forms, underscoring the importance of striving to meet the deadline. Submitting Form I-751, a comprehensive guide to supporting documentation and fees. Once you dispatch your completed Form I-751, including essential supporting documentation is crucial. Ensure you enclose the following. Green card copies. Copies of the front and back of your current green card. Copies of the front and back of green cards for any children mentioned on Form I-751. Evidence of genuine marriage. Documentation showcasing the authenticity of your marriage, such as mortgage or lease documents, shared assets evidence, joint bank accounts, joint tax filings, birth certificates of post-marriage children, voided checks with matching addresses, family photographs, and sworn affidavits from friends. Supporting documents for individual filing, if applicable. In cases of individual filing, provide supporting evidence, which may include the spouse's death certificate, finalized divorce decree, or official documentation proving domestic abuse. Explanation for late filing, if applicable. If filing after the deadline, include a detailed explanation for the delayed submission. Details of criminal convictions, if applicable. Disclose information about any criminal convictions or charges post-acquiring green card holder status. Military or government service, if applicable. If filing from overseas due to military or government service, enclose 2 passport-style photographs, completed Form FD-258 fingerprint cards, and a copy of current military or government orders. Clearly indicate active military or government orders on the top of Form I-751. Fees for Form I-751. The filing fee for Form I-751 is $595. Additionally, a $85 biometric fee is applicable for the primary petitioner, along with an extra $85 for each dependent mentioned on Form I-751. Fee waivers can be requested based on household income, means-tested benefits, or financial hardship. Payment options include money order, personal check, cashier's check, or credit card using Form G-1450 when filing at a USCIS lockbox facility. What to anticipate next? Upon submission, you'll receive a Form I-797 notice in the mail, serving as confirmation and allowing an 18-month extension of your green card's validity. The processing times vary and are contingent on the USCIS office handling your application. Periodic checks on the USCIS website for current wait times are advisable, as delays can extend beyond 3 years in some cases. USCIS may send requests for evidence, necessitating a thorough and complete Form I-751 submission. A biometrics appointment notification, with date, time, and location details, will be provided. An in-person interview with a USCIS official may be required, as per guidelines implemented in 2018. If approved, you'll receive a notice of approval and a new 10-year green card in the mail, requiring renewal before expiration. Conditional residence and U.S. citizenship. Time as a conditional green card holder counts towards U.S. citizenship eligibility. Eligible individuals may concurrently file the N-400 naturalization application with a copy of the I-797 receipt. Checking I-751 status. Track your Form I-751 status through the USCIS website, entering your application number, email address, and name. Select I-751 Remove Conditions under Case Type. For inquiries about processing delays, cross-reference the receipt date for a case inquiry on the USCIS website with your application filing date. Contact USCIS if needed.